Thank you for subscribing to this channel. This is a Reading Part C practice video.
Option B, use their own judgment when putting the strategies into practice, is the correct answer because it aligns with the information provided in the passage regarding the guidelines for infection control for dental practitioners. Here's an explanation of why option B is correct and why the other options are incorrect. B, use their own judgment when putting the strategies into practice. This option is correct because the passage emphasizes the importance of professional discernment and individualized application of the infection control guidelines in the context of each dental practice. It acknowledges that dental practices may have unique circumstances, routines, and daily operations that require tailored infection control procedures. Therefore, dental practitioners are encouraged to exercise their own judgment when applying the guidelines to their specific practice environment. This reflects the flexibility and adaptability necessary in healthcare settings to ensure effective infection control. Now, let's discuss why the other options are incorrect. A, strictly abide by the rules set out within the document. While it's important to follow guidelines, the passage does not suggest that dental practitioners should strictly abide by the rules without considering the specific needs and circumstances of their individual dental practice. The passage emphasizes the need for professional discernment and tailored infection control procedures, which may vary from one practice to another. C. Follow the example of well-established dental clinics. The passage does not recommend solely following the example of other dental clinics, whether well-established or not. It emphasizes the importance of individual dental practices having their own infection control procedures in place. While learning from best practices of other clinics can be valuable, it is not the primary focus of the passage. The passage emphasizes the need for individualized infection control measures. In summary, option B is the correct answer because it accurately reflects the guidance provided in the passage, which emphasizes the importance of dental practitioners using their own judgment and tailoring infection control strategies to their specific practice environments.
Let's look at the next question.
Option A. The option of consent ultimately lies with the patient is the correct answer because it accurately reflects the key point emphasized in the email regarding patient consent. Here's an explanation of why option A is correct, along with explanations for why the other options are incorrect. A. The option of consent ultimately lies with the patient. This option is correct because the email clearly states that one of the purposes of going through patient consent forms and discussing treatment options with the patient is to inform them of their rights and allow them to make decisions regarding their treatment. It emphasizes that patients have the option to consent or refuse any form of treatment for any reason, including religious or personal grounds. The email underscores the importance of collaborative decision-making and informed consent, ultimately giving the patient a choice regarding their treatment. Now, let's discuss why the other options are incorrect. B. Information provided by the patient is confidential. While confidentiality is an important aspect of healthcare, the email does not specifically focus on patient information confidentiality. Instead, it primarily emphasizes the importance of informed consent and patient decision-making. While patient information should be kept confidential, this is not the central theme of the email. C. Patient consent forms are a legally binding document. The email does not explicitly state that patient consent forms are legally binding documents. It emphasizes the need for informed consent and the patient's right to make decisions regarding their treatment. While consent forms are a part of this process, the email does not highlight their legal binding nature as the central message. In summary, option A is the correct answer because it accurately reflects the primary emphasis of the email, which is to inform physiotherapists that the option of consent ultimately lies with the patient, emphasizing patient autonomy and informed decision-making regarding treatment.
Let's look at the next question.
Option B. Assistance devices should be used over physically handling the patient, is the correct answer because it accurately summarizes the key message of the policy for manual handling equipment provided in the passage. Here's an explanation of why option B is correct, along with explanations for why the other options are incorrect. B. Assistance devices should be used over physically handling the patient. This option is correct because the policy emphasizes the importance of using ceiling hoist technology and air-assisted patient lifting equipment as the first-line handling aids. The policy highlights that there is significant evidence supporting the use of these assistance devices, as they reduce injuries for both operators and patients. The policy encourages employers to prioritize the use of such equipment for safe patient handling, indicating a preference for assistance devices over physically handling the patient. Now, Let's discuss why the other options are incorrect. A. All areas of the hospital should be fitted with overhead tracking. While the policy does recommend the installation of overhead tracking in new or refurbished facilities and suggests extending it to various areas, this option does not capture the central message of the policy, which is the preference for assistance devices over physically handling patients. The installation of overhead tracking is a means to facilitate the use of assistance devices but is not the main focus of the policy. C. Patients have the final decision on how they should be assisted. The policy does not specifically address patients having the final decision on how they should be assisted. While patient preferences are important and should be considered, the policy emphasizes the use of assistance devices based on evidence and safety considerations. It does not state that patients have the ultimate decision-making authority in this regard.
Let's look at the next question.
The correct answer is B. Mattresses are of standard size so may not be suitable for all bed types. Here's an explanation of why option B is the correct answer, along with explanations for why the other options are incorrect. B. Mattresses are of standard size so may not be suitable for all bed types. This option is correct because it accurately reflects a specific detail mentioned in the notice. The notice mentions that the size of the pressure mattress must be compatible with other bed equipment and accessories. While it does not explicitly state that mattresses are of standard size, it emphasizes the importance of ensuring compatibility with the patient's bed and accessories. Therefore, option B correctly captures this aspect of the notice. Now, let's discuss why the other options are incorrect. A confirmation of equipment is subject to availability at the time of request. The notice does not mention equipment availability as a central message. It primarily focuses on the responsibility of the occupational therapist to assess patient suitability, clinical reasoning, and environmental factors before submitting a request for a pressure mattress. While availability may be a consideration, it is not the main message of the notice. C. Patient factors must be considered prior to lodging a request form. This option is partially correct in that patient factors must be considered, but it does not specifically capture the detail about mattress size and compatibility with bed types and accessories, which is the focus of the notice. The notice covers a broader range of considerations beyond just patient factors. In summary, option B is the correct answer because it accurately reflects the specific detail mentioned in the notice about mattress size and its compatibility with different bed types, which is an important consideration for occupational therapists when submitting an equipment request form, ERF, for pressure care mattresses.